Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at character traits and what it means. Character traits are important because it tells us about the personality of a character and helps us understand what we are reading. When we look at what a character's trait is, we look at what is on the outside of a character and the inside of a character. Now what that means is when we look at the outside of the character, we look at the character's physical description like their hair color, eye color, what type of clothing they wear, and their facial expressions. When we look at the inside of the character, we look at the character's actions. The actions are what a character does. We can also look at the words that they use or what they are saying and their thoughts. Thoughts are what a character is thinking about. Usually we use adjectives to describe a character's trait. Adjectives are words that describe a noun. Let's look at some examples. For these examples, we are going to use the outside of the character to determine or figure out the character's traits. In this first picture, we see a boy. I see he has large round eyes and his mouth is wide open. I know that usually when I see that, I know that someone is scared. In this second picture, we see a boy who also has large wide eyes, but I also see that he has a large smile. I know he is probably happy or excited. In this last picture, we see a boy who has a frown. I know he has a frown because his eyebrows are inward or going down. I also see that his lips are getting smaller. So that makes me think he is angry. Now let's practice finding out a character's trait by reading a story. When Antonio walked into the classroom, he accidentally bumped into the doorframe. He took a few more steps and then tripped over a chair leg and fell flat on his face. What character trait best describes Antonio? Organized, foolish, clumsy, or unkind? When I look at my choices, I picture in my mind what the words mean. Organized means to have everything clean and in a certain place to make it easy to find something, like in this picture. Foolish is when someone is acting silly on purpose. Clumsy is when someone easily falls over things or spills something. Unkind has a prefix un. We know that means not, so it means not kind. Now we are going to have a look at what the author says to describe the character. The author wrote he accidentally bumped into the doorframe and tripped over a chair. Well, I know that does not mean that Antonio is organized or unkind. And since the author wrote accidentally, I know he is not doing this on purpose. So I think the best answer choice here is clumsy. Let's look at another example. The 4th of July is Andy's favorite holiday. Every year he puts American flags out in his front yard to help celebrate. He also decorates their house with red, white, and blue streamers. What trait best describes Andy? Is Andy an entertainer, selfish, patriotic, or friendly? Let's look closely at what the answer choices mean. Entertainer means someone who is on stage putting on a show. Selfish means not wanting to share. Patriotic means someone who loves their country. And friendly means being a friend and kind to everyone. Once again, we are going to look at the clues the author gives us to help us figure out what type of character Andy is. The author says 4th of July is his favorite holiday. I know that the 4th of July is a holiday when we celebrate our country. The author says he likes to decorate with American flags in his front yard and places red, white, and blue streamers all over his house. This makes me think of what we do in a party. Now, if I look at my answer choices, I know Andy is not putting on a show for people to see, so he is not being an entertainer. The author also didn't say anything about Andy sharing, so I know he is not being selfish. I also can't tell if Andy is a friendly person since the author doesn't tell me how he acts with other people. I can tell that he probably likes his country a lot since the 4th of July is his favorite holiday and he decorates his house for that holiday. So I think the best answer choice for this character is patriotic. Let's look at one more example. Raj got a new bike for Christmas. Even though he had a helmet, he decided not to wear it. He jumped on his bike and took off as fast as he could down the middle of his street. When a car came driving down the street, Raj tried to race it. What character trait best describes Raj? Dangerous, thoughtless, grateful, or frightening? Let's look at what my answer choices mean. Dangerous means something is not safe. Thoughtless has a prefix less, which means without. So someone who is thoughtless does something without thinking. Grateful means being thankful. And frightening means scared. Now I'm going to go back to the story and look for clues. The author says that Raj decided not to wear his helmet when riding a bike. I know that he is racing down the middle of the street and is racing cars when he sees one. We're looking at the character trait that best describes Raj. Well, based on what I know about these clues that the author is giving me, I know Raj is not grateful or frightened. So I know those cannot be my answer. Let's look at dangerous and thoughtless. I think this might be a tough decision, since when you're doing something thoughtless, you are probably going to be in a dangerous situation. Dangerous means something is not safe. What Raj is doing is not safe, but he is not a dangerous kid. Thoughtless means doing things without thinking. Well, I know that Raj is not thinking about what could happen if he is riding his bike down the middle of the street or racing cars without a helmet. Since he is not thinking about the consequences of his actions, I think Raj is being thoughtless. Hey everybody, so character traits is the personality of a character. When we look at the personality of a character, it helps us understand the character and their motivations in a story. We are going to continue practicing character traits as the week goes by. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a great day.